DATV, and the Greater Dayton Area League of Women Voters present Meet the Candidates, your chance to learn about the candidates running for office in the November election.
Hello, I'm Diane Herman, and I'm a member of the League of Women Voters of the Greater Dayton area. And I'm here today with two of our candidates who are running for Huber Heights Council District Number 4. There are two candidates running for one seat on Huber Heights Council District 4. Those candidates are Mr. Vincent King Jr. and Ms. Anita Kitchen. Welcome. And we're going to start our interviews by giving the candidates 1 minute to tell us about themselves and why they're running to serve on Huber Heights Council District 4. And we'll start with Mr. King.
Good afternoon, and thank you again to the League of Women Voters for this opportunity. So again, my name is Vincent King, and I was born and raised in Maryland. I went to Howard University in Washington, D.C., and upon graduation, I was stationed here at Wright-Patterson Air Force Base as a military member when I was commissioned. I moved around to a number of cities. I also have 2 master's degrees as well. After I left the service, I moved back home to Maryland, but then eventually made Ohio home in 2010 and purchased my first home here in Huber Heights in 2011. So I have been appointed to the Parks and Recreation Board since 2017 and have done a lot for our city in that area as well. I'm running for the Huber Heights Ward 4 position because I want to increase communication transparency between the city and its residents.
Thank you. Thank you. And Ms. Kitchen, the same. Please introduce yourself and tell us why you're running for this office.
Hi, my name is Anita Kitchen, and thank you for this opportunity. I moved to Huber Heights in 1988, so I have been here for exactly 33 years now. Huber's my home. I moved to Dayton from a small family farm outside of Wilmington, Ohio, and came to college at Wright State. I have received degrees in disability services as well as organizational leadership. At the time of graduating, I ended up going and getting a job at the Montgomery County Board of Developmental Disabilities, and I created a program that I did for 30 years and was blessed to be able to retire at a relatively young age. It is a program that serves people with developmental disabilities all over Montgomery County. I'm running because over the years, I have just seen Ward 4, the infrastructure kind of starting to fail. And I really feel that our residents deserve better in Ward 4. And I really feel that I have the energy to get this done.
Thank you. Okay, I'm going to ask each of you the same questions, and there are 3 questions. You'll have 2 minutes to speak on each answer to give. You'll have time for 2 minutes to respond to the question, and then I'll move on to the next candidate and give them also 2 minutes. First question goes to Mr. King first to answer. What should be the priorities for spending Huber Heights' share of the American Recovery Fund?
Okay, so what I believe that should be the priority is for exactly what we submitted the funds for. If I'm correct, we submitted funds to help with, submitted a request for, our infrastructure, our water, as well as our new infrastructure that the city wants to build. I think that should be the priority. And then next, find ways on how we can help our residents here within the community with jobs or anything like that. Of course, the infrastructure is highly important. So just having a better understanding of exactly what the city submitted their submission for would be, my priority first. But I would think that those 2 would be the top there.
Okay, thank you. And Ms. Kitchen, the same question. What should be the priorities for spending Huber Heights' share of the American Recovery Fund?
I believe the infrastructure is the main concern. We have had 132 water breaks in Huber Heights this year so far. This is a failing system, and water is a basic need for every resident in our, our city. And Ward 4 has been the blunt of a lot of the failing water system. That what the money should be going to that. The other thing is Ward 4 is a hardworking, a lot of seniors, a lot of single parents, a lot of families that have people with developmental disabilities. And oftentimes the average income for Huber is 56,000 is the average income for Huber residents. And a lot of these don't have the extra income or the extra time to be able to go fix up their properties and do better. And I think we need to kind of help our residents and to, keeping up, what our rules and our standards are in Huber. And I think we need to be kind to our neighbors and be able to, if there's any money, which there probably will not be after fixing the water system, but I think we need to go after more grants, more funds and everything else to help the residents here in Huber. So that's where I would spend the money.
Okay, thank you. Um, for Ms. Kitchen to start us off in answer to question 2, the pandemic has brought new awareness of the social, economic, and health inequities in our community. What steps will you take to address these disparities?
I work in a field right now. I'm the executive director of FOA Families of Addicts. I really feel that we need to start looking at, as I said, the social disparities of, race, but not only race, disability, seniors, families that are dealing with addiction issues. These are people that oftentimes aren't out, being the squeaky wheel of telling their business and everything else. So I really feel as a government, we need to go to them asking more questions. They're not ones that are going to have the time to come out and talk about these at council meetings. I just really feel that we need to be more in presence to our community than the community being a presence to the council. I have just felt that we have, as I said, I'm going out and meeting with residents of Ward 4. I am seeing the social disparities, and I just really feel that we need to be a bigger presence to them as to what their needs are, not they need to come to council and tell us their needs. Because oftentimes the ones that have the disparities aren't the ones who have the time or the energy to come out to express those.
Thank you. And Mr. King, the same question. The pandemic has brought new awareness of the social, economic, and health inequities in our community. What steps would you take to address these disparities?
Okay, so the first step I would take is making sure that our city officials understand the disparities within the community. It's very important that we know any and all issues, if possible, of what's going on within our own community. I would love to see more resources brought here, specifically. Specifically things like the homeless, things to help some of our renters who are having issues, having them come to our community versus having them go to them. So I would love to see some of that. I would also love to see some of our city officials, and myself specifically, go out, on city council or as city council and talk to everyone within the community and share that information. We are one community, one family, and we should be working to take care of each other as much as possible. So, I would look for things like that, look for ways and where we can bring more jobs into our community as well. We need jobs that pay more than just the minimum wage. We need jobs to help people make the decision to purchase houses, and just to be able to afford rent for their entire family. So that's specifically what I would do. I understand that the pandemic heightened some of our awareness on some of the issues. And with that awareness, we need to actually stop and take action now versus wait until later.
Thank you. And for the last question, Mr. King will have you start off. What decisions taken by Huber Heights Council District 4 in the past 4 years do you not support?
That's an interesting question. So I would say that there aren't many decisions that I don't support that were made by, our ward representative. He is, our current ward representative is very big on emergency management, making sure that folks within the city are able to understand the code red system and understand that we have sirens or weather warning systems as well. And he wants to push to bring more within the community. What I would say is what I would have liked to have seen is a more push for activities within Ward 4, specifically not waiting until this year to see movement on the property over in Marion Meadows. I would have loved to see that process start a lot sooner, especially and for folks on the council to start talking to the residents within this ward to specifically find out what exactly they want to see within that area. I think that's one of the most important things. It's communication. And, I think our current Ward 4 rep has done a great job. But as a council in whole, I would have loved to have seen them move forward on the Marion Meadows property faster than slower.
And Ms. Kitchen, the same question to you. What decisions taken by the Huber Heights Council District 4 in the past 4 years that you have not supported, that you would not support?
Well, the infrastructure failure. As I said, I have lived here for 33 years, and until 2 years ago, we weren't having all of these water main breaks. And over the last 2 years, it has been, unbelievable amounts of breaks. And it's not just in the winter when, sometimes water main breaks happen. It has been year round. And so I feel that more push for the infrastructure. Also, Huber has increased by 15% since the last census. And there has not been an increase in fire, EMT, or police. And, with more and more residents, those things need to be addressed and also looked at. The Marion Meadows property, a survey was done for this and it has been set on. And, so people have given their input. They are going to be asking for more input, but the people really have kind of spoken about this and we need to start moving forward on it. It's, the city's owned it for a few years now and nothing has really progressed forward. And so I just feel that those are decisions that, that is in the heart of Ward 4 is Marion Meadows, that, council and our ward rep could have been a little more proactive on some of these issues.
Thank you. So in closing, we'd like to provide each of you with a minute for a closing statement. And we'll start with Ms. Kitchen.
Thank you. I feel as Ward 4 representative, I really have a grasp on the people that are in Ward 4. As I said, these are hardworking individuals that, have some everyday issues that other areas in Huber don't have. We have homes that are the 60-year-old first built homes in Huber. And we have a lot of infrastructure that is starting to fail because we are the older section. I feel that I would be that voice for these people also. We have a large number of people with developmental disabilities, seniors. I'd have addiction, counts of, our needle exchanges and stuff like that. We have some serious issues. And I really feel I'm the serious candidate that would go out and knowing these issues to help families be more whole and not have as many just day-to-day worries that they would have if elected.
Thank you. And Mr. King, also your closing statement.
Thank you. And thank you again for this opportunity. what I would say is, if elected as, the Huber Heights Ward 4 representative, I am focused on the people. I always think people are our most important resource. As a city leader, you must understand what our community needs and how to address that. Our infrastructure is aging, as is throughout the city, and I think with the efforts that the city is making now is right on point. I think that we need to take more steps to get that done. I also want to see us, foster economic growth and development throughout the city with job creation and new restaurants or new businesses within our community. I would love to see us enhance communication, transparency, and for us to get out. And that's exactly what I plan on doing, is getting out and talking to every member that's possible.
Okay, thank you. And thank you for your participation, both of you today. And I wish you good luck in your campaigns. The League of Women Voters encourages all candidates to run an issues-oriented campaign. Our goal is to educate the voting public and strengthen our elective political process. The annual Voters Guide, for which we are well known, will be distributed in mid-October in the Dayton Daily News, AIM Media Suburban Newspapers, La Vanguardia, and at local libraries, schools, and businesses. Early voting for the upcoming election begins October 5th at your Board of Elections, or you can request an absentee ballot. However you decide to vote, your opinion matters and helps make our democracy work.